Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hello everyone, I'm Randy Pettitt, racing's greatest showman and the voice of historic Bowman Gray, the Madhouse, and Ace Speedway on Friday nights. Well, one of the greatest driving careers in NASCAR history began with an underwhelming 22nd place finish. As I mentioned in our last video, the King Richard Petty lapped the field in 1975 for his only victory in the World 600. And the top 5 finishers that day in the 600 all wound up in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. But I want to direct your attention to the 2 other guys who ran much further back in the pack that day. A bushy-haired 24-year-old second-generation driver full of determination had scraped up just barely enough money to drive a Dodge owned by Ed Negre. The pairing qualified 33rd in the 40-car field for the 600. And despite an already budding reputation for being a reckless hard charger, Ralph Dale Earnhardt Sr. in later times played it pretty smart in his first official start in stock car racing's Premier Series. He logged 532 of the 600 miles, and his winnings for finishing 22nd were $2,425, or exactly $85 more than Grand National Series regular Richard Childress, who finished 23rd. But perhaps the bigger thing that came out of that day at the World 600 was continuation of a friendship and a mutual respect forged for one another by 2 men who lived, breathed, and slept stock car racing. They would team up for the first time in 1981 when Childress got out of the driver's seat at Michigan and put the 1980 Series champion Earnhardt in his Chevrolet. A pair of 4th place finishes was their best efforts together in 11 races before mutually deciding to part ways. But their friendship, it remained strong, and the 2 reunited in 1984 after the Childress team had vastly improved. They went on to 67 major league victories and 6 championships in a driver-owner combination that proved to be one of the greatest of all time. It was quite a success story for a man from Kannapolis who had dropped out of school after 2 attempts at the 8th grade. He got married at 17, had a son at 18, and he worked dead-end jobs to support his family and his growing racing habit. Ironically, the first race car for the driver later to be known as the Man in Black was actually pink. Despite trying his hardest, young Dale Earnhardt was a divorcee before he turned 20. He was floating checks and dodging bill collectors, and come hell or high water, Dale Earnhardt was going to go race. A rough start got even rougher for the young man when they found his father, Ralph Earnhardt, dead of a heart attack when the son was just 22. The son took what was left of his father's racing machines and his tools, and he launched the second act of what became a legendary career in the sport. Perhaps the Daytona 500 ending was fitting in some way. His father died underneath a race car, and the son died in one. It was a death in 2001 that rocked the sport to the core, and it brought about much needed safety reforms. I didn't just lose my driver, I lost my best friend, car owner Richard Childress was quoted on the 10-year anniversary of Earnhardt's death. On a hunting trip, we had promised each other that if anything ever happened to either one of us, the other one would keep on racing. And that promise is what got me through. I hope you enjoyed this look back at one of the greatest of all time, Ralph Dale Earnhardt Sr. Coming soon, the first extended interview with 2 of racing's most bitter rivals, together side by side on camera for the first time anywhere. Until then, I'm racing's greatest showman, Randy Pettitt, and may all your days be race days.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.